Hello, this is Lisa of Lisa Inc. Let's Inspire Sisters to Achieve. And I'm with Monica Kaysen. Monica hails from Oakland, California. She went to college to become a professional dancer. Her dreams of dancing started in middle school. She danced and choreographed throughout college. But now she's in a totally different role. So I wanted to ask you, what is your current role and how did you come from the path of choreographing slash dancer to the path of your new role?
Well, my current role is I am a supervisor of patient advocate at a genetics company that focuses on women's health. So, to give a little backstory, dancing was my future, it was my focus. And after college and some injuries, I kind of got stuck into the retail world.
Okay.
You know, as a dancer, they expect you to be absolutely perfect.
Okay.
Once you hit the stage and you use your body as much as you can, the expectation is teaching other students or opening a dance studio.
Okay.
And it's not as easy as it sounds,
All right.
especially as a Black woman. It's difficult to get clients as a Black woman. Thankfully, in the Bay Area, you get we have a little bit more, following where we can get
Okay.
students, but
Mhm.
it was tough for me. And so while I was in retail trying to figure out what my next step was, I actually took a leap of faith.
Okay.
And I was contacted by a different biotech company in a role that they were interested in just based off of my current leadership skills that I had in my retail, my
Mhm.
retail history. And that's kind of what started this path into genetics and women's health. And so here we are.
So, what is one of the big issues women are facing in the, for healthcare? What is one of our, because I've dealt with a breast cancer scare and thank God that everything is good.
Yes.
But what are some of the major underlying issues for Black women healthcare?
The biggest issue, the number one issue, is we do not have enough advocates.
Okay.
Period. I have experience with that as well. I had a surgery a couple years ago,
Mhm.
and I was misdiagnosed multiple times
Wow.
for a year straight. It was to the point where they had misdiagnosed it and wanted to remove part of my reproductive system.
Okay.
And I got lucky because I didn't stop advocating for myself.
Right. Okay.
It's unfortunate that I had to be the one to advocate for myself
Right.
as opposed to having a doctor that you can trust.
Yes.
And so there's just not enough advocates for us out there, and we have to do it on our own.
Do you think there are enough Black women sitting at the table to discuss our health issues?
Absolutely not. I do not think there's enough Black women at the table. And the reason that I think that is because they're not letting us at the table. We have to take that seat. It's not something that is passed to us. It's not something that we inherit.
Okay.
We have to take that seat.
Have to take the seat.
Yeah, so that's the only way that I think we're gonna get more advocates.
So, who inspires you? Where you get your inspiration from to just keep pushing and moving forward on those days when, you as a leader in this role and as a Black woman, when you're not getting the support that you need in this role, who do you draw on for inspiration to just keep going?
I think if you ask most people this question, they're gonna give you a person,
Okay.
but I don't have a specific person.
All right.
I get motivation, I get my drive and my determination from being told no.
Okay.
From being told I can't, or focus on the things that you know. Why are you trying to branch out? Pick one path and stick with it. And I am in no way in the box type of girl. So being told no makes me want to push further. It makes me want to keep going, and that's how I think most women should keep doing it.
So, what inspiration would you tell a woman of my age that's dealing with a major health issue and her voice is not being heard at the table? How do we break that barrier, or just do we keep whining and complaining, or what steps do we take to say, hey, I have a major issue and I need someone to listen to me and diagnose me properly?
I think the biggest part of it is acknowledging that you advocating for yourself and saying that you have an issue and you're concerned
Mhm.
is not a whine, it's not a complaint.
Right.
It's you asking for help.
Okay.
And I think the stigma behind it is women, black women, are labeled
Yes.
as naggers. We're labeled as angry individuals. We whine and no one takes us serious.
Right.
That's just how we are. But that's not a reason to stop doing it. That's not a
Okay.
reason to stop asking for help, to stop speaking up. It's the only way you're going to get help. Just whether it's a small issue, whether it's something big, if you don't speak up, nobody is going to walk up to you and ask you what's
Right.
wrong. So you
Yes.
have to keep going.
So what challenges do you face as a black woman in this particular industry? What are some of the challenges you face?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges I face is being a leader and having people under me
Okay.
who don't want me to be their leader.
Okay.
I've had direct reports go to other companies because I'm their supervisor. I've, had my team switched around a few times because we want to make it balanced, but
Wow.
most of the time I end up losing individuals on the team. I also think that one of the tougher things to do is being a black woman who is determined, who is driven, any black woman who is determined and driven, knowing that you want to go to a certain level, you're trying to push through those barriers. You're going to be the only one saying those things. You're the only
Yes.
one asking for those roles. You're the
Right.
only one who's going to advocate for you to do it. It goes back to, what advice would I say? What inspiration would I give
Right.
to,
Okay.
the older generations? Keep pushing.
Just
Keep
pushing.
asking for it.
Yes.
My current role, I was put into this position after 3 months. So I actually got 2 promotions within a 3-month period.
Okay.
And it's because I didn't stop.
Right.
The first interview, I had crying spells.
Okay.
I, asked friends for help.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, I'm the only one that's going to be in front of that panel getting asked those questions.
Wow.
So I just have to do it.
Yes.
And I got that role.
Okay.
And in the midst of being excited and celebrating that victory, another role opened. And I'm not going to stop. It didn't matter to me that I was
Right.
fresh into this first role.
Mhm.
I wanted to see how far I could go. And
Okay.
because I took that chance, here I am in this role. So
Wow. And she was afraid to do an interview, right?
I know.
Right? So how do you continue to be inspired in this industry when they're going against the grain with you, basically, or for women in general every day? So how do you get up and just be inspired? Is it because you want to help women? Is it because you want our voices to be heard? What drives you?
yes, it is that.
Okay.
But it's also being in that position,
Okay.
having the experience of being told no,
Okay.
having the experience of having to advocate for an entire year for my own health,
Okay.
having the experience of going through trauma and not having anybody listen.
Okay.
Those are the reasons that I wake up and do it every day. You see women struggling, you see that we don't have enough resources. Black women all around don't have enough resources. So if I have a platform where I can do any amount of change, I'm going to take the opportunity to do that. And I'm in this position. I'm going to do everything I can to get my voice heard, because my voice is the voice of someone else that isn't heard. So I'm going to use my voice to hopefully give them some form of support, however way I can do it.
Do you think, with the mental health issue, do you think women are speaking out more about mental health, trauma, domestic violence, as opposed to in my generation, it was like what happened in the house, stay in the house, you don't talk about it. So what, do you really think that they're being more vocal now and talking about what is going on and what is needed to be whole in their life?
I think they are, and I think it's because there's more support from women who have experienced it.
Okay.
The older generations were, that's what they were raised on.
Yes.
You don't bring your business outside the
Right,
house.
exactly.
What happens behind closed doors
Mhm.
stays there. And I think breaking that mindset is
Mhm.
what's making women who are in these situations speak up more,
Right.
seek out help.
That's true.
The only way we can really grow in that situation is to continue to do that.
Right.
Fear when you're in those situations
Yes.
is stifling. It's
Okay.
paralyzing.
Mhm.
But imagine the person that you can help because you spoke up.
Yes.
So
Exactly. Wow. Okay. So, what words of inspiration would you give to the generation that's coming behind you?
The same thing I've been saying. Do not give up. Do not give up. Do not stop. If somebody tells you no, do it anyway. If somebody tells you you can't, show them that you can. If they're telling you to stick to one path, find 6 more and try all of them. The only way we're really going to continue to progress is to accept that things change,
Right.
to accept the change,
Okay.
and to really make it your own. You know, you don't have to follow in someone's footsteps all the time. I think we fall into that, especially if we have amazing women like yourself as parents, and you know, we see this incredible path we want to go on. Take that incredible path and make your own path out of it. You know, show the younger generation that there are multiple things you can do to be a better person, to make a better world out there. You just don't give up.
So what's the end game? What would some of the results that you would like to see in women healthcare? Let's just say maybe 5 years from now.
Whew, that's 5 years. That's it. Okay.
Well, I don't know, 5, 10, 15,
5, 10,
20,
15.
yeah.
I think
5 to 10 years from now, what are some, let's narrow down, what are some of the health issues for Black women that you would like to see progress in? You know, you can see some true progression in it. Yeah.
2 things come to my mind. The first one is the death of a mother when she gives birth.
Okay.
Black women die
Yes.
at so much higher rates
Yes.
than any other race
Yes.
just from childbirth.
Yes.
And it's
I died
because-
years ago. Yep.
And it's because
Mhm.
no one's communicating what's going on.
Right.
If we're in labor and we're telling them something doesn't feel right, they don't listen.
Right.
You know, that's just what Black women do.
Yes.
They can take it, they can take
Right.
the pain, they can push through it. We shouldn't always have to push through it.
Right. Exactly.
If we're saying something is wrong, we should be heard.
Yes.
So that's one of the changes I would like to
Mhm.
see. Another change is breast cancer in Black
Yes.
women.
Mhm.
I think we can all say breast cancer gets
Right.
a lot of traction nowadays. People are always talking about it.
Right.
But how many conversations do you hear when it's focused on Black women?
Well,
Not
none.
many.
Yes.
Like it
Yes.
just doesn't happen. And there's so many resources out there
Right.
for that. The company that I work for focuses on breast cancer. They focus on all forms of cancer. Thankfully, we just had resources that allow us to test for more races than just
Right.
European races.
Yes. Mhm.
And prenatal health, that's a big one.
Yes.
People don't focus on that.
Yes.
I think we get so blindsided by this idea of let's start a family, but nobody's focusing on how your body is taking it.
How your body is stressed and
so
all of
those
this.
would be the changes that I would like to see.
Well, I thank you, Monica,
Yes,
so
of
much.
course. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, wow. This is awesome. Thank you.